Welcome everybody to 9.2 Part 1, Curves, Polygons, and Circles. So this is another section that's basically for Part 1 here, all definitions. If you would prefer, you can find all of these in your textbook on page 540 through 542 with some extra examples if you'd prefer to do that instead of watching these videos. I'm going to start with just a few kind of general vocabulary words you may or may not remember. The first one is a simple curve. A simple curve is something that you can draw without passing through itself, and you do not lift your pencil. So I am going to give you some examples and some non-examples for each of these so you can see what I mean. So I am going to draw a curve without lifting my pencil, without going through itself. So there would be an example. Here would be a non-example. Then I have something called a closed curve. A closed curve is one that just circles around and connects back with itself. So there's a non-example. There's a non-example. A curve can be simple but not closed, and it can also be closed but not simple. So for example, this would be considered closed. It's not simple, but it is closed, and that's allowed. Next, I want to talk about something called a convex figure. So a convex figure is something that you can draw so that if you draw a line between 2 points within the figure, they will never go outside of the figure. Here's a non-example. Whenever it kind of like punches in, that's when it's not going to be convex. And if I follow my kind of line example I just talked about, if I draw 2 points, I could draw a line that goes outside the figure. So not example, not example. So whenever it goes into itself, it's not convex. A regular polygon, next example or definition I mean. A regular polygon, I'm going to actually write down a definition. This one is pretty important. All sides are equal and all the angles are equal. All sides are equal, all angles are equal. A few examples. If you have a triangle with all sides equal, all angles equal, it's called an equilateral triangle. If you have a rectangle where all the sides are equal, all the angles are equal, it's called a square. And you could have a regular pentagon, which I'm not going to be able to draw this very well. Okay, those are supposed to all be the same length for the sides. But whenever you have all of the same lengths, same angles, it's a regular polygon. Because I can have a pentagon that's not regular, and it has different properties. Last thing we're going to talk about in this video are just some names of polygons. A name of a polygon is decided by how many sides the figure has. And this is again straight from your book, so if you would prefer just to look there instead of writing it down, you can, but here it is. So if you have 3 sides to a figure, it's called a triangle. I bet you probably knew that one already. If you have 4 sides of a figure, the general name of it is actually a quadrilateral. Quadrilateral. If you have 5 sides to a figure, it's a pentagon. 6 sides is a hexagon. 7 sides is a heptagon. 8 is an octagon. 9 is a nonagon. And 10 is a decagon. These are the ones that we use the most often that you will need to know. The other ones are just for general interest. Woo! Hopefully it was interesting. All right, in our next 2 videos, we're going to talk about specifically more more specific names for triangles and quadrilaterals, and so join me for that. Thank you for listening.